Darren, what do you make of Preston then, a side who will be up there come the end of the season, do you think?
Oh yeah, I think they will. I think very experienced squad, big squad. They'll be looking at this. Hopefully for them, would probably looking at their last season in League One. I think they need to get out of the league for many reasons. But no, they've got a big squad, and if you look at it, it's a very experienced squad. And it'll be a tough game.
Yeah, just to pick a few out, I mean, Kevin Davis has been there and done it, hasn't he, at the top level. Jermaine Beckford in the club recently, and they've got Gallagher and Kilkenny as well. Not just experience, but quality as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's four that you've named straight away. They've obviously lost Garner and they've gone out and got Beckford in. And he's a real focal point for them, Davis, and what he brings, his physical strength. If he does play, they've played with him up and Beckford up. They've played with Gallagher just off. So whatever they do. No, we've obviously spoken about that and we've concentrated on that part of it, but the main focus is on when we've got the ball and what we do with it.
Their away form is pretty good, isn't it? 6 away league wins. I don't think anyone else has won more than that in League One. They travel pretty well. Yeah,
they're very stubborn. This is probably the best way to describe them. And if they go ahead, they can be hard to get back. They've shown that again the other night, another 1-0 win. So they can be very stubborn. They can get control of a game very quickly through their experience and their doggedness, there's no doubt, and added to that, they've got some quality obviously in the team. So we've got to be aware of all that. That's why it's really important that when we get that ball, we move it quickly and we look after it. They'll know the threats that we've got. We go into it with more confidence than we have in the last few weeks, because obviously the win at Leighton Orient's helped that. I think it'll be a good game.
And what you've said about their stubbornness is borne out by the statistics. Every game they've won away from home in the league, they've kept a clean sheet. 6 occasions they've done that, which is an amazing record, really.
Yeah, it is. And they've got that in them. There's no question about that. I think they manage games, and I think, again, and go back to some experienced players they've got in the team, they manage games quite well when they go ahead, especially away from home. So we've got that to contend with. But they know that, if we get to a level that I know we can, and move that ball and play quick, then we can cause them problems.
Real pressure on them then, do you think, this season to get out of the division? They've, as you say, spent a bit of money, got plenty of experience, a big squad, all eyes on Grayson and his team?
Well, I think, obviously a club I know well, I think they would have had a plan to get into the Championship in a certain amount of time, and I think as year goes by, then obviously that gets a little bit shorter. So I think they're fully prepared to try and get up, and I think they've shown that with some of the, like Brian Beckford in this, shows that really.
Yeah, it's just another game for you though, really, isn't it? I know it's your former club, but you've faced them plenty of times since you left there.
Yeah, no, it's just another game. I mean, it was a long time ago, and I just want to go into it like every other game and get the win.
How important is it now to get back on track at home in the league, Darren? It's been 3 home league defeats on the bounce. Crucial really to start turning that round.
It is. You always sort of, when you have success, you do tend to normally, the stats suggest, you look at your home form. There is an odd season where your away form just seems to be better, but no, you're absolutely correct. We've got to get that right, and it's a good time to do it. For many reasons, we wanted more fans to be in the stadium. We wanted them to get back. The crowds have gone down a little bit. We're aware of that, but I am. And that's just due to results. So over a really busy Christmas period, Preston and obviously Doncaster on the 28th, it would be good to get some points at home.
Do you owe the home fans a performance, you think, after Bristol City a couple of weeks back?
Yeah, I felt the 2 games we lost, Swindon and Bristol. Swindon, I said at the time, we definitely could have won that. And there was a lot of frustration within that Swindon game, I felt. And I made a particular point of sort of in my programme notes for the Bristol game to make sure that we've been here before and we need everyone. And I do feel with the Bristol game, the fans were with us. I think they'd just seen a team lose confidence when they went behind, and they were at the absolute opposite, Bristol, where they just grew in confidence. And looking back at the game, it was a convincing defeat, really. But no, I think you're right. We've got to make sure that we don't let anything affect us on the day like it did against Bristol. Regardless of how the game goes, we've got to stick to what we've worked on and stick with playing with energy, really.
Yeah, and I know through the bad run, the squad have tried to stay upbeat and keep focusing on the positives. But has there been a noticeable change in atmosphere this week, having got that victory, back to winning ways, that all hands to the pump finish at Leighton Orient, getting over the line? Is there any change in mindset this week?
No, I'll be honest, they've been really good. I think if you've come and watched us train during the week, the spirits have been really, really good, regardless of obviously we've been on a bad run. Big difference was obviously in the dressing room after the game. They were bouncing, and it's been far too long. But no, they've been generally, we've kept them upbeat. They've kept themselves upbeat. They're a close-knit group, and they're doing everything in their power to try and change things. One win doesn't change things. We have to now try and go on, as I've said, the busy Christmas period was a lot of games quickly. If we can go on a decent run now, it would be the perfect time to do it, really.
Joe Newell, so unfortunate, wasn't he? Second yellow card late on at Orient, so he misses this weekend. It's a blow, isn't it? Because he's been probably one of the standout players this term.
Yes, I would say that Joe's been outstanding. Probably, yeah, I would agree with that, and he will be missed. Obviously, someone else will come in and take his place, but his form has been good. He's growing into now what he in his own mind he feels like he's an established player, where sometimes that can take longer for players. He's always had the ability. I've no question that Joe's always had the ability. I've maintained that regardless of how his form's been, and he's now shown it on a consistent basis, and he can be a top player, that lad. There's no question.
Maddison, I know I think he's still struggling a bit with his ankle. Could he be fit in time for the weekend, do you think, or is it going to be a bit longer for him?
I've still not made my mind up. Obviously, we'll do tomorrow. He's touch and go, Nick. Is the best way of describing it. He's touch and go.
Is he over the virus that you discussed last week?
He's fine with that, and he's in terms of his health, is fine. He's done some extra sessions and one-on-one stuff. But he's touch and go, not just purely because of the ankle, but because of the run of games we've got. If he was to have a relapse in that, then he may miss longer. So that's what I'm taking into consideration, really. I feel that he could play the game. I think fitness-wise, there's nothing structurally wrong with his ankle, but I've just got to be right in my own mind, and he does. So we'll make that decision probably together tomorrow in terms of whether he's involved at all or he starts, he's on the bench.
If he did play and you stuck with a diamond, could he fit in on the left, do you think, which would allow Erhan to continue in the hole?
Yeah, that's where I'd get good balance as well. He's left-footed, so it would be a like for like in terms of another left footer like Joe. Yeah, he can play there, no problem.
Yeah, but you have other options, of course. I mean, you've got Jermaine Anderson, naturally right-footed, and McCann as well, who's played there before on the left.
Yeah, Grant's played there. Anderson has played there as well. I've got Boswick could come into the midfield and be replaced at right back. So I have got other options, and obviously I'll have to use one of them.
Tyrone Barnett back at the club this week after his loan at Oxford ended. Do you see him going out again when the window opens in January?
I would say probably. He actually finished off really well at Oxford, banging in goals. I think he enjoyed the last bit of it. And I've just said, look, he's probably used to it now. He's gone out and come back, and he's just got to get his head down and work hard and hope that something happens in January, which is obviously not long away.
Yeah, because you've got plenty of striking options, haven't you? Yeah, so difficult to fit him in at the minute anyway.
It is. I mean, it'd be very unfair to bring him in terms of... I could do, obviously, he's another option. He's a different option, I have to say he is a different option, but no, I've got young strikers that even though Craig and I have come in, the young strikers are the future of this football club, and that's something we can't get away from.
Mikel Smith was saying after Saturday he feels that him and Aaron are starting to click now they've had a few more minutes together. Are you starting to see that sort of pattern play working? I mean, we know what they can do when they play well together.
Yes, I feel that the second half, the fact that we went ahead, they looked dangerous on the counter-attack. I think I've seen that many times, obviously, but to see it again there was good to see. And Craig will come on because he hasn't been playing. We've been doing a lot of work with him, and his sharpness and feet, and each game he gets, he'll get stronger and stronger. But I think we're also a dangerous team if we go ahead with them two up front on the counter-attack. I really do.
Yeah, and they work so hard as well. Not saying your other strikers don't, but they've got that bit of nous to get into the right areas, particularly when you're defending a lead. They're strong at holding the ball up.
Yeah, I mean, you're right in mentioning that the other strikers, because it's not a reflection on them. It's just a short term. We hope that it gives them a little bit of a breather. The one thing I would say, and they all work their socks off, my strikers, there's no question about that. Their desire to score goals is something they have to learn. There's no question that they have to learn that desire to score goals that Craig and Aaron have always had. They would throw their granny out of the way to get a goal, them two. They really would. And then that's something that you just, whether you get it or you can get it, or whatever, or you've already got it, but strikers are paid to score goals.
Yeah, and probably seeing that mentality of Aaron and Craig may help them discover that.
No, that was part of the, when the chairman and I decided to do what we did. we feel it was short term, it could be a really good fix for them as well, and to just see that sort of desire and mentality. You know, and they, obviously when we were here before, they were a lot younger, and we've got to remember that the other ones, Luke, Connor and Vass, are still young lads and are still learning, and they've done really well, but they just need to learn to get to that next bit.
Yeah. Still a couple of players obviously long-term injured. I know Baldwin's going to be a long while. How's John Taylor getting on, Darren? Is he on the road to recovery?
Yes, he's now, he will be running tomorrow. He's been doing a lot of work on the bike. He feels fit. I was chatting with him this morning, he feels good. We're probably looking at the 10th, we're looking at probably getting him back.
Which would be Notts County, I think, wouldn't it? Notts County away, is that right?
No, I don't think it is. Who is it for?
Could be Colchester, couldn't it?
I think it's Colchester,
yeah.
Yeah, because it looks like we've got the 3 games coming up, and then the game on the 3rd of January might not happen now, so he'll be back for the one after that.
Is he a nightmare to have around when he's not playing? Because he strikes me as a sort of guy who sort of bounces around and just wants to expend some of that energy on the pitch.
He's without doubt one of the best I've had in terms of the way he is. He's infectious, a great lad. He's one of those you want to see do well, and he's been bouncing about. He's silly Scouse humour, but he's a good lad.
Any other injuries, Darren? Anything fresh going into this weekend?
No. The only decision really is to Madison. That's the one I've got to make tomorrow. Apart from that, I know what the team's going to be.